I recorded a video and sat on it for 10 years. Let's overthink that. Hello, so if you haven't seen the video that I released at the beginning of January, have a look up there or down below, wherever, there'll be a link somewhere, and see what I had to say for myself at the beginning of 2014 in full. I'm going to share a few clips from that video now as I reflect on it, because I sort of made some predictions even though I said I wasn't going to. So first up we have this.
You're probably on the, I don't know, what, 14th or 15th Doctor by now?
Well, I just about got that one right, but it was more by luck than design, because I was going on the sort of 3 and a bit years per Doctor idea, and that's not quite what we got. We had gaps in Capaldi's era and Whittaker's era, and then we had a very short-lived 14th Doctor to get us to the 15th. So I landed on the right number, but not by the right means.
It's probably 2 or 3 executive producers come and gone.
I guess I meant showrunners, really, when I said executive producers. We had Moffat then, we've got RTD now, we had Chibnall in the middle. I think I was expecting that the gaps that we had wouldn't be there. I couldn't have predicted a pandemic, obviously. So there might have been time for an extra showrunner in there somewhere, but obviously not. So not quite, but almost with that one.
Maybe you're in another wilderness years when Doctor Who's been taken off the air. Maybe it's being managed and rested, I don't know.
Thankfully we're not in another wilderness years. Doctor Who is still on TV. We've had, as I've said, gaps in it, but it's still on, and I know they're renumbering from series 1 as if this is the start of something fresh, which it is, but technically so were other producers, and that was all counted as part of the same series. So in my mind, this is still all new Who, and we haven't had that massive gap that we had in the 90s. So that's a win. Hopefully we'll keep going.
And as I mentioned Scream of the Shalka before, maybe that's what Doctor Who is now.
So Doctor Who isn't an animated series. I got that wrong. But we do have Doctor Who animations. Now at the time, we had these 5, I think I said the Moonbase was just about to come out. So these were the stories that were half or more than half complete and needed in each case 2 episodes, or actually in the case of the 10th Planet, just one or 2 episodes to complete them. And I guess we had hoped that we would get the Underwater Menace and the Crusade done like that. Those were the other stories that fitted into that bracket. That didn't happen with the DVD range. And I was totally shocked, I think as everybody was, when Power of the Daleks was announced, and then we've gone on from there, and we now have, I definitely wouldn't have predicted that I'd have all of these stories complete on my shelf 10 years ago. Obviously they're not complete, but you know what I mean. Where's the Hartnell though? We want more Hartnell. there's a definite Troughton bias in the whole endeavour. But that's an amazing thing that I couldn't have predicted back then. The other thing that I couldn't have predicted, which I'm going to throw in here now, is just how big my target collection would get. The idea that it would be completed as far as the classic series goes, with all those ones that were never done properly, although they had been done by fans, plus re-releases of Stones of Blood, Andromeda Tower and Warrior's Gate. I mean, again, was not expecting that. And certainly new series, look at how big it is now. Just look at that. That's all of them, apart from Twice Upon a Time, because I still don't feel like revisiting that particular story. Actually, have I got... No, I've not even put the re-release of the TV movie in that pile. So, totally did not expect Target novelizations of new series stuff. But we have them and I'm enjoying them, and you'll have seen reviews of those on this channel in various places. I haven't done a lot of the recent ones. I've had thoughts, I haven't had the time or the energy to do that. I have an idea of perhaps doing a sort of like, give my thoughts as I can remember what I thought about them in like 30 seconds. So you may see that video at some point on this channel.
And the DVD range seems to be coming to an end. We've got the Moonbase coming out, we've got the Underwater Menace coming out, we've got the Web of Fear.
So I guess we've sort of covered this. The DVD range did technically come to an end, but it's then become the Blu-ray range. I definitely couldn't have predicted how that would pan out at all.
But if rumours are to be believed, you, 10 years from now, I don't know how many you'll have back, how many stories you'll have been able to appreciate. The current rumours are maybe Marco Polo, maybe The Massacre, I don't know. We'll see what 2014 has to offer.
Oh, the Omni rumour. I distinctly remember before a Radio Free Scenario recording at the time, Stephen Shapansky assuring me that it was true. I mean, I feel sorry for him just as much as I feel sorry for the rest of us, because there were fans who were taken in by what we thought was going on at the time. And it's just sad that there have not been any more missing episode recoveries since those stories came back. There are rumours, obviously, of the odd episode in private hands, and people know who's got it, and those people don't want to give it back for whatever reason. I don't know how true any of those are and whether we're likely to see any more on that. But I fear at this point it's very unlikely we're going to get any more missing episodes back. And if we do, it will be the odd one here and there, rather than the happy chance of finding those two stories almost complete. What a shame.
Hope that I'm still as keen a fan in 10 years' time.
So this is the big question, really. Am I as big a fan as I was 10 years ago? And I think the short version of that is no. The slightly longer version is that I guess I'm a different kind of fan to the fan that I was 10 years ago, which I guess is a bit of a cop-out, really, because 10 years is a long time in anybody's life, and people change, and I have changed. The biggest change in that time is that I met my wife and got married, and we have 2 kids. And I've watched a lot less Doctor Who in that decade than I did in the preceding 2. My wife is a fan of predominantly the David Tennant years, so we watched the recent return of him together. And in the early days of our relationship, I did lend her a bunch of classic Doctor Who stories to watch, and that didn't really work out. Not because she wasn't keen, but I think we need to properly kind of give it a go when we have the time, when we're not so tired. So I've just had less time in the last 10 years for watching Doctor Who. And my interest as far as podcasting, as you know, if you've been on this channel in that time, have changed. And I have invested my time in other things. And if you're just stumbling upon this video, please do check out other places on this channel where you'll find stuff about UFO, The Prisoner, and the new podcast that Michael and I have started called For Your Consideration, which, as I record this, we are very close to releasing the second episode of that. But I still think a lot about Doctor Who. I still have thoughts and ideas. The recent specials gave me the hint of an idea that I might return to something TMDWP, if only to just comment on those. But I haven't really had the time or the energy or the inclination to actually put that into practice. I do have some long-term Doctor Who ideas on the back burner that may come to fruition this year. The other thing to say is that we are sitting here at the end of January and I still haven't watched the Christmas special. That's no reflection on Ncuti Gatwa. I thought he was great in the brief bit that we saw at the end of the giggle. I just haven't got round to watching his debut, his proper debut. I am 3 episodes into The Abominable Snowman animated, and I still have that to finish, and The Underwater Menace. I'm sure I will get to Gatwa before his proper series later in the year. But I think you can sense there my enthusiasm for catching up with current Doctor Who as and when it happens. So there we are. That is my look back on the video from 10 years ago. It's been a fascinating looking at what I look like. I mean, I've lost a bit of hair, but otherwise I'm a pretty similar person, I think, to the person that I was back then. At least in terms of the way that I look and come across on camera. So anyway, do stick around. There is more content to come on this channel. It's just probably not what I was expecting 10 years ago. And you never know what will happen in the next 10 years.